Okay, so we had standard objects, custom objects we defined, right? And we also saw that standard object had standard fields and custom fields you can create. Custom objects also have standard fields and you can create custom fields on that, right? And
Yes.
of course, the objects are tables, and the standard fields and custom fields, these are like columns, and records are the rows of that table, right? So now today, even yesterday last session, what we saw that there can be two objects, object A and object B, and there can be different kinds of relationship, right?
Yes, sir.
One to many, or many to many. Many to many relationship goes via another object, right? So in Salesforce, you can only have between objects one to many relationship. If it is a many to many relationship, it will need a third object, yeah, which is one to many from both sides. Yeah. So now we will see today what fields will create those relationships. How what are the different types of relationships possible? Relationship fields are there. How is these relationships created? Like one to many, many to many relationships. Huh? There are two fields which creates this relationship. What kind of fields are this? One is called lookup.
Master detailed and lookup. Yes.
Lookup, correct. So there are two fields, master detail and lookup. Let's think about an object. An object is what? An object is a table. In Salesforce, usually the name field is a mandatory field. And you can have field 1, field 2, field 3, and blah, blah, blah. Salesforce has a field called ID in every object. Okay. What it does? It automatically generates a unique ID for every row of any object. Yeah. SF ID 1, SF ID 2. What kind of ID is this? This is a 13 character case sensitive or 18 character case insensitive ID. It's the same, but there are two versions of that ID. One is a case sensitive version, which is 13 characters. One is a 18 character case insensitive version. That means what is case sensitive and case insensitive? Case sensitive means A and A are different characters. If I make case insensitive, then A and A are same characters. Okay.
Okay.
So whether it is an uppercase or lowercase, it does not matter. It will be treated as the same value. In case sensitive version, these will be different characters. Okay. Since there are different, since in case sensitivity, we can get a lot more combinations. That's why we do not need 18 characters. So only 13 characters is fine. But since in case insensitive version, we are losing out combinations. That's why 18 characters are needed for making unique IDs. These IDs are unique across the org. That means this another record in that org will never have this ID. Okay. So what happens is that there are two tables, table A and table B. I have the ID, and here also I have the ID, right? Both the tables will have an ID field, and this is record 1, this is record 2. Here, let's make this A1, A2. It will be easier for you. I'm telling A1, but it will be 13 character value. Okay. We'll show this right now. Just let's understand the process. So A1, A2. Here the ID is B1, B2. Okay. Now, if I create a field in table B, which is the AID, that means ID of this table, and I put this value here, and I put this value here, what happens? Then this row gets associated to this row. If I put A1, A1 in both the rows, then these two rows are referring to the same A1, right? That's how we create one-to-many relationship. So this ID field is the primary key of a table. What is a primary key? A unique identifier of a record. Just like you are a citizen of India, what is your primary key?
You have
My
other card.
Aadhaar card
Aadhaar
number.
card, right?
Yes,
Aadhaar card number. Yeah, absolutely. It will be unique. But or your passport ID, right?
yes.
Yes, sir.
So now if you are traveling to USA with your passport, will you be treated as a citizen or a foreigner?
Foreigner, sir.
As a foreigner.
Right? So but your passport is valid, right? Still. In USA also, USA will recognize your passport and they will only make sure, understand that you are holding in the primary key of a different country. So you become a foreigner and your passport becomes a foreign key. So the primary key when used in another table becomes the foreign key. The concept is clear?
Yes.
So let's see this once again. So this field which I created in the second object becomes the child of the first object. First object becomes parent and relationship becomes one-to-many. Why? In B, multiple records may have the ID of, like now let's replace this with account and contact. Then it will be very clear. An account can have multiple contacts, right?
It's a one-to-many relation.
Yes. So if I have contact 1, contact 2, contact 3, contact 4, everywhere, if I give account A, then there are 4 contacts I have created for the same account, isn't it? So this field can be of 2 types, lookup type or master detail type. Both are storing the Salesforce record ID. Okay. How to recognize a lookup field or a master detail field in UI? Lookup or a master detail field will always be hyperlinked. That means it is clickable. We'll see this. Okay. So now we'll jump into Salesforce to understand.
So hyperlink means
I will show that. Don't worry. On UI, you will how to recognize which one is a lookup field. Lookup field in edit mode is searchable. Lookup field in read mode is hyperlinked. How do we know that? How will recognize that? We'll see this. So I think let's jump into Salesforce. When I go to Object Manager and see any account here on screen, you will not get any ID field. because that is not available here on that directly as a field. But you can see that ID two ways. One, right now there are many ways, but right now you know of only two ways in which you can see that. So if you go to account, here in the top, you will see this, right? How many characters is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 characters, right? This account record, Marlab account, has 18 characters. This is the unique identifier of account. If you go to any contact, you will see on the top this ID field. Yeah. What if you want to see this in the detail here? That is also possible. If I go to account and I create a new field, we'll discuss the other field types later. But right now, I will use a formula field. And what is a formula field? I will discuss that later. And in account, account ID is there. Let's see. Yeah, we can see now the ID, right? Whatever is seen here. This is the 18 character version. This is the case sensitive version we are seeing on screen. Yeah, this field is there, ID field, for every object, be it account, contact, opportunity, any sales standard object or custom object will have a field called ID. We'll get into more details. We'll get into granularity later. But let's see the contact object, which is the child of account, right? The relationship fields will always be created at the child side. Relationship fields will never be created on the parent side. Okay. So here, if you see, I want to associate account with contact. If that is the case, then we have to know which side is the N side. 1:N relationship is there in Salesforce, right? Only one relationship. So which side is N? The side which
Contact
is N.
side.
Yeah,
Contact.
the side which is N needs to have that lookup field. Or since this is a standard object, Salesforce has already given that field to us. We'll look into that. So this is a contact. If you go to relationships, you will see there's a lookup field on account. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
If you see what is the internal name of that field, it is called account ID. What is the UI name of that field? It is called account name. The field label is what is shown in the UI. That means in the screen. The field label is used by administrator for data loading and other purposes. This is a system name. System name cannot have spaces and so on. But this is the name which a user will see, business user will see on screen. So we will have a field called account name. Let's see what is the account name. If I go to contact, open it. See, this is the account name. And this account name is hyperlinkable. There is a hand sign. You're seeing this. I have the hand sign. When I click on this, I will be taken to account, right? So this is hyperlinkable. It's a hyperlinked. I have a hyperlink to another record. So Salesforce, this account name basically is a lookup field, which is hyperlinkable, and it shows the name of the record instead of showing the ID, which makes no sense to end users, right? If I put the 18 character here, will it be helpful at all? Not helpful, right?
Yes.
So Salesforce automatically substitutes this ID field with the name of that record and puts a hyperlink. So if there is a lookup field or a master detail field, both behaves the same way. Clear? You can create your own lookup fields or master detail field by doing this. On standard object, you can only create lookup fields. On custom objects, you can create both lookup field and master detail field. Since this is the standard object, you are not able to get any master.
Can you please repeat this, Animesh?
On standard objects, you can only create lookup field.
Right.
On custom object, you can create lookup fields as well as master detail fields.
Okay.
So master detail fields will only be able to create on custom objects. Yeah. What is the
But
difference? Yeah.
I have a question here.
Hmm.
Like account and contact are standard fields, right?
Account and contacts are both standard fields. Yes,
So we cannot create master relationship here.
that's correct. You
Like
can-
if I delete a account, all the contacts will be deleted. We cannot do.
that is already part of the game. That is a standard feature between account and contact, because account and contact has a special relationship.
Okay.
But that is not the feature of lookup field. Standard lookup fields are makes two objects independent. So records of parent has no impact on records of childs.
Okay. Okay.
So we'll discuss in master detail and standard. So let's discuss what is the difference between master detail and lookup. I will jump to my whiteboard once again. So did we create any standard custom object? Let's see. We have
The
created,
previous time you create register.
we created one, right?
Yes.
So what, see, this is the 4 fields which is there. I did not create any lookup field, right? So let's create two fields. One is a lookup field and another is a master detail field. So here you see the lookup field is there. Let me create a lookup with which object? Maybe contact object. Let's create, see now very important for you to realize there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fields here, right? When I created a new lookup with contact object, there is no impact on the rest of the 4 standard fields, right? No impact. The moment I create a master detail relationship, this owner field will be gone. There will be no owner field. Yeah, let's see this. So
We have to do with contact, right? Registration and contact, not account.
No, first we created already the lookup with contact.
Okay.
Now I am creating a master detail with account.
Okay.
So I am creating a mapping object between account and contact. Now you see the owner field is gone.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So I have one question.
Yeah.
So we can establish master detail relationship between two custom objects, right?
Yes, of course.
Then if the second object is a child object, then their owners is also gone.
Second object is the child object. A child side, you can create these fields only on the child side, right? That we already discussed.
Yes, sir.
So whenever you create a master detail on any object, the owner field will be removed.
Okay. Okay.
Why
From
it is
from
removed?
custom.
Why it is removed? We probably will discuss this in 7th class. So advanced
Okay.
topic. Not
Okay,
we
okay.
are not going to discuss this. Why it is removed.
Okay.
Right now, let's understand the difference between master detail and lookup very quickly.
Okay.
So I am going one by one. Yeah.
So we can create master detail when out of the 2 objects, even one is standard and one is custom, we can still do master detail, right? But if both are standard, we cannot do master detail.
The bottom line is you cannot create a master detail relationship except custom objects. So master detail is always allowed on custom objects. Master detail field can refer to a standard object or a custom object, no problem.
Okay, okay, got it.
Here in this case, I have created lookup to a standard object called contact. Here I have created a master detail to a standard object called account. Since my object itself is registration, that is a custom object, I am able to create the master detail. Was it a
So-
standard object? Then I would have created, I had to create both as lookups, account and contact both.
So on other way to articulate is the child can always have to be a custom object.
Only for master detail, not for lookup.
Yes, or for master detail.
Yes. For master detail, the child has to be a custom object. That's correct. And master detail and lookup, two difference. First difference, what we saw, that master detail removes owner fields. Lookup has no impact on owner field, right? First difference. Let's see the second difference. I go to the account. If I open this now, account registration object is a child of both account and contact, which means I will see registration here in account. If I go to contact also, I will see registration there also. Both are related objects now. Registration becomes a related object for both account and contact. So now you can create registration records from either account or contact. Does not matter. Wherever you have created, you are using, whichever context you are using, on that context will be pre-filled. That means if I am creating a registration from account, then the account field will be populated automatically, you see. And if I am creating from contact, then the contact field will be populated automatically. Yeah, you see. Now the major difference, what are we seeing here? I am seeing a red star here. Name field is always mandatory for all objects. So I now you see, can I save this? It is not allowing me to save. I have to choose a account. So this master detail fields are mandatory by default. Lookup fields are not mandatory by default. I can now save my record. So two differences. If I edit also, the same thing. Another thing is that you are saying that by default, the master detail field is now disabled. Once you have put a value, after that it is disabled. If you want to enable this value, you have to go to this field. And there is a property called allow reparenting. If you check this property, then only you can it will be editable. Otherwise, it will not be editable. Clear? So if I set this value and save it, now I go back and edit this. I am able to change now. It is editable. Okay. So lookup does not care about it. Allow reparenting must be on, then only this field, master detail field, will be editable. Clear? There are other now second differences. So two differences we found out. Let's discuss the other differences before we will move to other fields. So now I will jump to my whiteboard once again. So there are two kinds of relationship fields, lookup and master detail.
Both of these fields needs to be created at child side. Lookup can be created on standard object and custom object. Master detail can only be created on custom objects. Lookup is not mandatory by default. Master detail is mandatory by default. When you delete the parent record in lookup side, child records has no impact. But here, when you delete the parent record, the child record is automatically deleted. Clear? Let's see that. This is still, we need to see. Any other differences?
The difference between owners.
Yes, of course. So lookup has no impact on owner field. Master detail has removes the owner field. Master detail removes the owner, right?
Yes, sir.
If both there are two master detail fields maximum possible in an object, lookup fields can be created maximum 40 minus number of master detail you have in that object. So total there can be 40 relationship fields. Out of that, maximum MD how much? 2, right? Maximum. So if you have created 2 master detail field already, then you can create 38 lookup
38 or 39.
or 39 or 40.
Yeah.
So there can be 3 possibilities based on how many master detail you have created on that object. But master detail can only be maximum 2. If there are 2 master details on an object, then it is called a junction object, not a mapping object. Junction objects are mapping objects, but not all mapping objects are junction objects. Clear? If there is one MD field and 1 lookup field, then it is a mapping object. If there is 2 lookup fields, then that is a mapping object. But if there is 2 master detail, then it is called a junction object. Clear?
Yes.
Yeah. So let's see. Okay, another difference is also there. We'll get to that in second steps. So lookup and master detail, so many differences, right? So another difference is that on parent side, you can create roll-up summary. There is a roll-up summary field which you can create on the parent object, not on the child. The master detail relationship is on the child object, right? If you have a master detail relationship on a child object and on parent side, you can create a roll-up summary. Lookup does not allow roll-up summary. Roll-up summary don't work with lookups. Clear? Another thing is workflow rule will work for parents in master detail. Workflow rule has no impact on parents with lookups. We will see all these, what is workflow rule and so on. We'll gradually see that. Yeah. So 2 things we will check right now: lookup summary and deletion of child records, right? Automatic deletion of child records. Let's see that. Workflow rule impact we'll see when we'll do the workflow. Finding it interesting, or you're feeling sleepy?
No, sir, interesting.
Oh, very interesting.
Oh, good, good. So I have created this registration field, right?
where is this? It is Anupam Nandi and Marlab's account. So let's go to Anupam Nandi first. Here I have Anupam Nandi and I delete this. I delete this record. What happens then? I still have the registration record there, right? If I open, you see the contact record got blanked out because that contact is no longer there. Right? Now let us again change this. Let's bring Priyanka as the contact. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to the problem here now will happen that account, if I delete account, both account and contacts will be gone. So Priyanka's record, let me check if Priyanka is part of Marlabs or not. Yes, it is part of Marlabs. So what we will do, I will go to the registration record. I will change Marlab to something else. I will reparent to Marlabs 2. Now it will show up under Marlab 2. Yeah, who are the contacts? There are no contacts. So good part. So registration 1 has been created. Marlab 2 is the account. Priyanka Roy is the contact. Priyanka Roy's account is basically Marlabs, not Marlab 2. So when Marlab 2, I will go and delete it. Before that, let me check once again. If I go to Priyanka Roy, down below in the registration, I am seeing registration 1. Now I go to the account and Marlab 2, I delete. If I go back to my contacts, Priyanka Roy is still there, but the registration is gone. Why this happened? Anybody?
Because Marlab 2 is deleted and registration was marked with Marlabs 2.
Yes, but why it got deleted? And it did not get deleted when I deleted Anupam Nandi.
Because this was a
Master detail and
That's
that was
correct.
lookup.
Absolutely. Since Anupam Nandi was not a master detail, that's why it blanked out. That's it. No impact on the child record. But since our account is a master detail, if the account gets deleted, the child registration, records also get. So it is called a cascade delete, right? So that we saw. Another part now, let us see how it works. What I told that in master detail, I can create now. So the parent side of master detail, I can create a roll-up summary. By default, there are some roll-up summary already available in account, but you see this roll-up summary is there. You will not get this field if there is no parent-child relationship already, or there is no master detail already. So total registrations. Yeah. There can be 4 types of formulas here possible. I can count the number of records. You see, registrations are already available here. I can do a count on it. And I can do a sum, min, and max. If I use a sum, min, and max, I have to choose a field on which I want to do that. But if it is just a count, nothing is needed. Yeah. So
Animesh, can you please show again what are the options that came in summarized object? Okay.
Opportunity and entitlements are both standard objects. Though opportunity has a lookup relationship with account, still roll-up summary is available for these 2 standard objects. That is standard feature of Salesforce.
And
But
why
by
did
default,
entitlements came?
Entitlement is also a standard object.
Okay.
Registration object is a custom. Registration, it is only available to me because registration is a master detail relationship with account. Okay. Since I do not have any field on which I can do min, max, and I will use a count. Let's see. So what a count will result in?
if I go and create a account on Marlabs, I create some registration now again. Two registrations, right? So in account, total registration is showing 2. If I create another record, and go back to details, now it is 3. Let's make some more interesting work. Let us change, let us bring a amount field on my child object. What is the child object? Registration. I do a new. What is the field type should I choose for amount object? Amount. And why? Who wants to go give it a try? Definitely amount field is an input field, and it is not a relationship field, right?
Number.
Number. So amount is what kind of amount you are talking about. Number can be a good data type. Yeah, true. But if I say amount is basically, I want some money value there. So what would be
Currency.
Currency.
So
Currency.
why I will go to currency instead of number? What benefit does it give me?
So
Number field
roll-up
are very-
summary is more of number, the count summary, which is the arithmetic of it, and currency because it denotes the number, the currency because it's the money side of it. That's
Yeah,
the
but-
right unit.
But what is the difference between why have they given a number field and a currency field? What makes sense? It does not make sense. If I go to a number field, you see it has a decimal place. After decimal place, I can put some values.
Yeah.
I can do point decimals and so on. So number field is not only number field is a decimal number also. Okay. So number field can have everything. So why is then the currency field given to us, and why are we thinking to choose currency? What benefit does currency field give us on top of number? If I have money matters to store, why should I choose currency and not number?
Sir, it helps in price book entry.
No help in price book entry.
Okay, then
It's an amount field, right? Now, price
Because
book entry
the
is only for-
number we can be like 0.99 also, but currency can only be up to 60 if it's INR.
No, if you go to currency, it can be any decimal place. Yeah, it does. It's the same thing. There is no restriction there. So why do you think what is the benefit of having a different currency field and a number field? Before that, why not text field? What is the problem with that? Come on, guys. It's very easy, right? Why not text field?
Because it's have alphabetic words. That's why ABCD kind of.
So if I
Currency can have I think logically I feel currency can have 2 decimal points, but number can have any number of decimal points.
no, it supports multiple decimal points. If you go to currency, you can make it 4. You
Okay.
can make it 5, anything. Whatever you add in the decimal side, you have to reduce that in your length side. So
I don't know.
yeah, so there's no stopping this. These two added should be 18 characters. That's it. So there is no, I don't see much value. So it must be that Salesforce must have done some stupid work, right? Why they have created 2 different fields? What is the benefit of that? Okay, so why not text? Text clear cut. If I give a text field, then somebody can put some alphabets there, right? Which is not a valid data.
Yes, sir.
If I
Yes,
give a
sir.
number field or a currency field, here you will only type the alpha characters or the characters, vowels or consonants cannot be utilized. You cannot type anything on there, right? That is not a recognized field. So system can validate that data that you are putting, not garbage. When I need amount, I am asking users to put some numbers there. They should not put any alphanumeric characters there, right? Alpha characters there. So that data validation benefit we get if we move away from text field to a number or a currency field. But what is the difference between a number and a currency field? If I have a number field, I have to give another field for them to choose the currency type. I have to tell them this number belongs to what kind of currency, right? Is it USD? Is it GBP? Is it in INR? Is it a Australian dollar? Is it a Pakistani currency? Which type of currency is it? I have to tell the system, otherwise it makes no sense, right? The amount field is contextual. It has to has a currency field. So if you are putting a number field, then you have to create another field to tell the users that which kind of currency is that. Correct? But in currency field, both of things are baked together. Okay. Currency field means two things at a number and a currency type put together. That is a currency field. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's talk about the currency field. And we will maybe go forward and I will do this, remove these decimal characters, and I will take all the 18 characters and we'll say amount. Now I have created an amount field. I will go back to my parent once again. I created a field called total amount, right? Total registration. And it was a count field. Let's edit this now. Now let's me change this to a sum. Now you see, I'm able to see amount here. I can choose if I want to filter these records also. That I want to do the calculation of sum on some records only, not every record of my child. That you can do. So there are three functions: sum, min, and max. So let's do a sum. Now let's go back. Let's see the total. What is the total? See, it is showing 0 and $. This dollar sign is coming by default because it is a currency field. Had I chosen number, this dollar sign would have not come. Now I can go back to my registration records. Edit this amount field. Now amount field is here. I put some value. $10. $20. $30. What will show on the account? So I have three registration records. One has $10, $20, $30. What will show on the total registration now? Come on, guys.
$60.
$60. Yeah, absolutely. And it's showing up,
Yes, sir.
right? So roll up summary is now, had I made that a min, had I used the formula called min, then what would have happened? What would have come here?
$10.
$10.
$10, sir.
And max?
$30.
$30. Absolutely right. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So roll up summary, how it is working? Roll up summary is at the parent side. Roll up summary uses records and fields from the child side to do calculations. There are only 4 calculations possible: count, sum, min, max. Okay. Similarly, so roll up summary is only parent side, but there is another field called formula field, which we just created a little while ago, right? Formula field can be created on both parent side and child side, any object, basically. Let's create a formula field now. So this is the child side. That's why you cannot create a roll up summary, right? You see, this is disabled. So I go and create a formula field. I will create a difference kind of a record. What does it do? It will calculate me, give a difference between the total registration fee minus the registration amount, which is on that record. So I am doing calculation between two kinds of fields, right? One is the total registration. What kind of field is that? Total registration. It's a roll up summary field, right? And it is calculating on amount. Amount is a currency field. So let's choose a currency. Yeah. Decimal is 0 is fine for us. So what would be the difference? I am on the registration side. Here I can go to account, and in account I can choose the total registration. See this symbol, account underscore underscore R. That means I am on a relationship field. Registration has you can do this account underscore underscore R only if on that object you already have a lookup relationship or a master detail relationship of this kind of object. In registration object, I have already a master detail relationship with account. That means I can now straight away pull any field from account. In order to pull any field from account, I have to put underscore underscore R. Yeah, if you insert field, it will automatically fill up. You can hand type when you are doing a hand typing. You can also hand type it here. So if you are hand typing, you have to put underscore underscore R dot. If you are saying underscore underscore R dot, that means you pull you can now access the account relationship. This is the account underscore R is relationship. Inside relationship, which field are we talking about? The total registration. Difference. Now I want to do a difference, right? So that is a pure subtraction. This you can hand type also. I'm just using this. Now I will need to not go to account. I will use the amount field of my registration object. Right? Here you see there is nothing called dot, not needed, because you are on the same object and you are using the field of that same object. So just the field name is fine. And since this is a custom field, that is why you are seeing the underscore underscore C. Here, every field is used by API names. It's always a good practice to do a check syntax. All green. Any problem before we proceed? Any confusion on this?
No, sir. No, sir.
Formula? Very easy,
No,
right?
sir.
Good.
No, sir.
Yeah. So now I do a next. And I add to the layout of my record here. So what happens now? I have put this formula field on which side? The registration side, right? Let's look at that. You see the difference is coming as 50. Why 50 is coming?
Because the maximum
Maximum 60,
amount
sir.
60, no? Total
Right.
amount was 60.
Total
Right.
That's why.
What
After
will-
that, 10 is differentiated, so 50. Now
See, the amount is 30, so difference is 30, 60 minus 30. And in here, the amount is 20, so automatically this is calculating difference. If it is a formula field, it is not editable. You see, you cannot edit this.
Yes, sir.
sir, actually that means total registration is $60. From that we are deducting the amount as registration $1, $10. So we
Yeah.
are deducting it, and then the total result is coming as 50.
That's correct. So this formula field is basically working on each record of that registration object. And based on what is there in the amount field, it is deducting from the total registration field, which is there on the account. So total registration field only has one value, 60. Now, if I change any of these records, this will impact both. If I make
Yes,
it
sir.
50, what happens is that, what will happen on my account?
It will make a total change of
Yeah.
the total
So
registration.
let's see what is the retailing coming here, $90 now, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So if I go to now registration, 50, so it becomes 40. So 90 and 50 is the difference, new difference, right?
Yes, sir.
And then you have this 30. So it is calculating based on the
New registration.
new registration value, right? It is not showing up here just because, yeah, you have to refresh the screen. It just sometimes caches. It will show the value. Yeah, now it is showing the correct value. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So now it has become 90 on the parent side, and that's why the difference is now changing. Since this relation, this formula field, this is formula field, right? Since this formula field is using a field from this object itself and a field from parent object, this kind of formula field is called cross object formula, because I am using fields from two different objects, right?
Two different, yes.
Had I created formula using all the fields of this same object, I would have not used any relationship. In that case, this would become a normal simple formula field. But since I am using parent field here, it has become a cross object formula field. Clear? Let's look at other type of fields which we have. One of the field is called auto number. Auto number automatically generates a sequence. Yeah. You can make the name field auto number fields. In that case, your name fields does not need to be. If you let's see how we can change this. So let's go back to registration. The name field of registration is what we are making change. We are typing through our hand, right? It's a text field. Let's make this field. The name field can be only changed between two types, text or auto number. So let's give an auto number. When we give an auto number, it will ask what is the format. So maybe I will choose the format like this, 0000. So R hyphen 0001, 0002, 0003. That will happen. Whatever is already put in the existing records, no impacts. From now, starting today, or starting now, when I am changing this, it will start working for the new records. How will that work? If I go and create a new registration, you see the registration name is gone. It is not no longer required. If I create now an amount of 100 and save it, now see, it started creating. It automatically Salesforce is generating this for you. So auto number fields are automatically generated numbers. If I create another, R002. So you keep on upgrading itself. So auto number is another kind of field, which is sequence, right? What other fields do we have? Auto number, formula, lookup, master detail we already discussed. Okay, checkbox. In registration fee, lookups and master detail both are there, right? But you see, both are working the same way. You can click account also, you can click account contact also, right? Both are clickable because it is basically storing the ID of these records. It is converting it, runtime, and showing the name to you. So if it is a clickable object, then it is a lookup field. And when it is a lookup field, it can be searched. So when you do this, you want to change it, it will give you an option to search. Other fields are checkbox, quite self-explanatory, true and false value if you want. Boolean values you want, then you use this. Currency we already discussed. If you want only date part, no time is needed, then date. If date and time both are needed, then date time. If email is needed, email. Why not use a text field for email? Same. In text field, I can put any garbage. It may not be a standard email at all. But if I choose the email field, then it will check whether
It
the
will
format is
specifically
email
be
format.
an
or not.
email. Yes.
Yes. So all these data types, make sure that the data type, data entered by users are correct. Otherwise, you can always use a text field. If you're not sure what kind of data, text field, right? Geolocation is coordinate value, latitude and longitude. This can be used in maps. Number we discussed, any kind of decimal or whole numbers, we can use numbers. Percentage, similar, this becomes a percentage value. Phone, of course. Pick list, what are pick lists? These are pick list and multi-select pick list. We will discuss in detail. Text area and text field. What is the difference? Both have 255 maximum characters. In text field, you cannot enter or break the line. Line separation is not possible. In text area, you can separate the lines. You can use the enter sign. That is the only difference between text and text area. Text area long is only just gives us more characters. Text area rich gives us more characters and formatting also. So you can put images inside it. You can put links inside it. You can make it bold. Characters can be different types. So you can format the values. REST3 does not have any formatting of values. This is a rich text box. If you have ever used, it will look like this. It will give you many options too.
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah.
What is the difference between text area and text area long?
Only max character limit is quite high. That's it.
Okay.
And text area long, it does not show in reports. In reports, you can put the text or text area. Text area long is so big, that's why it is never, you cannot pull that in reports.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Reach also same. You cannot pull in reports. Text area encrypted, this is masked value. If you want to put some values in encrypted format, then this is needed. Time is only time part, no date part. And URL is a URL character. This is what we call the URL, HTTP hyphen something. If you want to like store the website details of your customer, then you use a URL. Clear? All the data types clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's discuss pick list and multi-select pick list. Pick list means when you want to make sure that user is choosing from some values which you have allowed. So let's see. I am creating a pick list value called source, registration source. Registration source, if you want to create a new pick list, always use this one, enter values each separately through a line. So it can be like call, website, email. These are the value. Okay, I have created a source. Where from is this registration coming from? Is it through a call made to us? Is it through a website? Is it through email? Yeah, and I do next. If I want to use this same value for another pick list, then I will save these values as a global pick list values. Yeah. Then this stop button you will come. Okay. Promote to global set value. You see this? If you promote to global set values, then you can use this same values in another pick list. But if you want to keep the value local to only this pick list, then it is fine. So how the pick list behaves, if I change this, the source, this will become a drop down. Yeah, you can also put a default value in this pick list, which automatically selects itself. In that case, none option will not come. Yeah, I can select call and save it. So this is a value of a pick list. How will it work if I select a multi-select pick list? Multi-select pick list, only in pick list, you can select one value. Multi-select pick list is the same, only that it allows multiple values to be selected. So let's see payment methods. Credit card, wire, coupon, so now what happens? You see, yeah. So now you can have these values as credit card, where and amount is source. Oops. Got it? You can select mode. So if it is a pick list, one selection. If it is a multi-select, then there are two table boxes to choose from. Clear? And it will show up as semicolon separate. Now I can see this. I can remove this value again. Clear? So all the fields we have discussed today, play with it. Understand these fields. Whenever you add any fields, it asks you which profile should it go to, which page layout it should go to. We'll discuss the page layout we already discussed last day. If the screen which you are seeing right now is basically called the page layout. So in the registration object, if I go and check the registration object, you can remove fields or organize these fields in a different format. Like I put contact here, account here, amount and difference here, source and payment here. Yeah. And save it. And save it. What happens is that now it becomes a 2 column. It's a like 1 column layout. I have dragged and dropped. Now it has become a 2 column layout. This layout is applicable for read mode, edit mode, and create mode. Yeah, it impacts. Layout is used in all the 3 operations except delete. In delete, I don't need this layout. It just gives a confirmation and that's it. You can make a field read only or required in page layouts also. You can go to, you see the contact field is not mandatory, right? Because this is the master detail, that's why it was mandatory. But if you can make this contact field required also. You can make source field required also. Or you can make source field read only. Yeah, in that case, you will not be able to add value. So if I now create this, if I edit, now it will ask, sorry. Takes a while to reflect. Hold on, let me check if it is coming up. No, it's still not working. Hold on. Anyway, so you can make any field read only from here also. Sorry, required from here also. Due to
But
cache.
that would be for for specifically for profiles, right?
No,
Read only or editable.
profile read only editable, that is will come in security. That is in the field level itself. This is just page layout.
Okay.
That means it's superficial. It is just basically on that screen. I can make it read only, or I can make it required. But if you are loading data through other tools, it will not impact.
Okay.
If you have
But
multiple
even when
layout,
I'm in the specific page layout, that is also subjected to some profiles only, which I have predefined while I was creating that layout.
true.
So yeah, so
This
I can,
layout will be applicable for, if you go to this layout screen, there is a page layout assignment. So
Right.
you know that this this layout is assigned to which profile. Right now I have only one layout, right? So every profile has the same. But if I
Okay.
create multiple layouts, in that case, I can assign layouts to different profiles,
Okay.
right? So the screens and the fields inside that screen will vary based on which person is logging in. What is his profile? Based on that, the layout will change. The screen will change. The number of fields on that layout will also change, right? That I can do. So based on user type, I can change layouts. If I want to change the layout based on the record also, then I have to create a record type. Yeah. By default is a master. So I can say a business account. I can have multiple records for multiple record types. So I will show you that. And I can choose all the pick list. In that pick list, what values will come or not. I can choose that. So I can say that coupon is not needed in business accounts, right? And in source, I can say in business account email, okay, like email is not required, right? And I can create another record type called non-business account. I also make it active. So now I have created two, and here I can also choose. So payment record, maybe credit card is not required. And in source, maybe call is not required. So what happens now? If that is the situation, if I go to home and go to registrations now, and I create a new, I forgot to assign these two profiles. Yeah, that's fine. So I have two types of record types, both have the same layout. That's why it is not asking me for any discretion. Now what I do is that I go to page layout and create another record type. Maybe I can non And probably here, that's fine. Here, maybe in non-business account, I don't need to make these mandatory. Let's keep save. So registration layout, I can rename this. I make it business. That's fine. So here now I have two layouts, and in the assignment I change this. What I do is that for my standard system administrator, if it is a non-business account, I go there, I select this and change the layout to non-business. Yeah, and save. Then what happens? By default, the record type which is given to me is the business account. So you see, contact is now mandatory, source is mandatory, right? Now let's switch on the default also. I select both the record type on this profile. If I do that, what happens now? If this user can create both kind of records, then first it will ask you, do you want to create a business account or a non-business? Based on what you select, it will give you the layout. So if you go to business account, you see account, contact, and source all are mandatory. Only credit card and wire value is coming. And in source, call and website value is coming. What if I choose the non-business account? Contact and source is not mandatory now. Wire and coupon is coming, and source does not have call now. Clear? Here on top, you are creating a non-business account. If you select business account, it will choose that layout. If you create the different record type, then it will choose another layout based on what is being assigned. So there can be two steps. Either you can have different layouts for different people, different logins based on their profiles, or you can also complicate matters. Then what happens? You have two level of distinction. First, who is logging in, and second level is what kind of record is getting created. Both of them will make sure which layout is selected. So if the type of data needs different screens, then record types comes in picture. Okay. Here, when you go to layout and you see layout assignment, here the matrix changes. Now you see what kind of record type and which user or which profile type. Based on that, the layout will be chosen. Salesforce will choose. So these two will come. If both record types are assigned to you, then you can create both kinds of records. In that case, it will ask you which kind of record you want to create. If you have not assigned record types to that profile, in that case, you cannot create the other kind of record. In that case, directly the layout will open up. There is no need for you to ask question. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So record type, page layout. Based on that, you can have different page layout behaving differently for different kinds of user based on different kinds of records. That is the whole idea about what is compact layout. Compact layout is some which you are seeing on the top here. In the top, you can add some values, more pertinent values. by default is system, right? If I create a new value, I can put the account, I can put the contact. So not, these are big fields, not needed. So let's put amount here. Let's put the difference field here. Let's put the source here. Yeah, I create a new field, compact layout. I go and I will do assignments, right? You see, here I will put new registration. Here I will put new registration. And primary is new registration. So what happens now? If I go to compact layout, which is here, it is showing me the difference and the source. I have not put any amount, that's why it is not showing any amount. But if I put some amount, yeah, amount, difference, and clear. What the benefit of this is also when you go to that account, this when you hover, the same value also comes here. That layout comes in hover also. Clear? The same layout, compact layout is also used here. So most of the things which we have covered already for object manager, right? See, fields and relationship we have covered, page layout we have covered, compact layout we have covered. Rest will gradually go to record types we have covered, right? Many things. We will gradually see everything in action. Enough for the day, and enough materials for you to play around. Go ahead and try them all out. Any questions so far?
Nothing from my end.
Great. I hope you enjoyed the session today.
Yes, sir. We did enjoy.
Thanks.
Yes.